So what's up, y'all? I'm Mr. Gardner, for those I don't know. I'm gonna be emceeing this poetry slam. We're gonna get the energy nice and hype today because this is the annual 9th grade poetry slam. Thank you everyone for coming. Shout out to all the student poets. Shout out to the judges right here in the front row. Shout out to everyone in the place to be. We'd like to thank Dr. Zena for the use of the theater today. Give it up for Dr. Zena. So raise your hand if you've been to a poetry slam before. Let me see. Okay. Ooh, a lot of people first one. Wow. Well, if it's your first poetry slam, outside your classroom one, it's good to, have this experience together. What it's gonna look like is, this is a live poetry competition, so our poets, AKA our slammers over here, are gonna have 3 minutes each to perform an original poem. The students competing in this slam are the winners from their respective classes. Before we begin, let's take a moment to silence our electronic devices. So if everyone can make sure your phone is on silent. That being said, please feel free to use your phone to take pictures and use the hashtag MHS Poetry Slam or hashtag Verselandia and tag nsullivan.mhs. That is our wonderful school librarian. Let's give it up for Miss Sullivan. And raise your hand if you performed a poem in your classroom within the last week or so. Raise your hand. Okay. So, everyone knows how much courage it takes to get up in front of people, let alone the whole freshman class, which there's like 400 plus of y'all. So, when a poet comes up here, give them mad respect, listen intently. If you're like feeling a line they said, you snap it up or be like, like enough to like let them know you're hearing them but not interrupt them. You know what I mean? Yeah, it is a fine line. It is. And remember this. Give everyone like a round of applause on their way up. And remember this, that the point is not the points, but the point is the poetry. That said, there's points. And I'm gonna just let you know about these judges up here in case you wanna, cheer for them or boo them if you don't like their score, There's that part too. So, first up, give it up for Miss Santiago. From La Isla del Encanto, your VP extraordinaire, y'all. Next up, give it up for Alberto. Yes. Alberto is the programs assistant for public programs and youth programs teams at Literary Arts. He will not be watching the Super Mario Brothers movie. That fun fact. Give it up for Maurice Colley. Teacher at McDaniel who loves students, poetry, and baked goods. Feel free to bring in cookies or cakes or whatever. So that's what's up. Give it up for April Joseph. April's a poet, clarinetist, book coach, and educator. She was also the section leader of clarinets for their high school Mighty Oiler Band. At Literary Arts in Portland, she's the writers and school specialist and works with youth programs teams to support and celebrate writers and students. So that's what's up. And then give it up for Nicole Jackson. So Nicole Jackson is a youth poet from Portland, Oregon. She was the winner of the McDaniel Poetry Slam and Verslandia champion in 2022. She then went on to become the Slamlandia Grand Slam champ the same year, represented Oregon at the Blackberry Peach National Poetry Slam in Florida, being the youngest in the competition to make the final stage and place in the top 10 poets. Nicole uses poetry to tell her truth in hopes of inspiring young creatives and speaking for ones who can't. And was in my hip hop lit class last year. Okay. Now, I didn't even get a sacrificial poet. Okay, so just to like kick things off, we need a sacrificial poet. And what that means is you're not officially a part of the poetry slam, but you share a poem and you'll get judged as a way to like kick off the competition and show how it's gonna work. Now, ahead of time we didn't get one, so we need someone. Emily, you wanna come up?
I'll just get right into it. This poem is called My Love Language, and unfortunately is not memorized because it is new. Growing up, my dad always said, love, praise, and affection. That's what everyone around me receives. But with my dad, it's different. We play fight and call each other names. My partner questions this behavior, and I can see why. It's quite strange. It's not exactly normal for your dad to call you a raging cunt over a game of iMessage 8-ball. Or get called a cow at the dinner table at Applebee's. My mom clears her throat and sips her drink before repeating the common line in our household, "Oh, you too." My partner looked over his shoulder at me and my dad's text and asked, "How could you talk to your dad like that? If I did, it'd be bad." His parents are whack, but I just replied, "That's just how it is with us." How have I become so accustomed to this? Hearing my dad say, "I love you, Em, you're a good kid," is so foreign to me. It feels like a joke. I ask him if he's kidding and he just laughs. I guess that's just our love language. Woo.
So now the judges will score the poet, and then I'm gonna read them out. And then, you cheer or boo according to how you feel. Yeah. Now I'm gonna read them left to right, nice and loud for the match. Yeah. We got a 7.2, an 8.0, a 7.5, an 8.2, and a 7.5. Applaud the poet. Next up, I'm gonna just randomly draw names from the fishbowl. Are you guys excited? You are. Okay, let's take a deep breath. It was destined for this poet to go first. Everyone, give it up for Vivian!
covering up. This goes to the girls that were told to cover up at the age of 10. To the girls who adored clothes but had to cut that off when puberty hit. I never understood how people could tell me to be me, to wear the clothes that represent me, to dress the way that I like, while simultaneously telling me that my clothes were too sexual and provocative. Tank tops were too much chest, dresses were too much curve, skirts were too much thigh, and those perfect pair of shorts were just a little too short. Nothing pleased anyone. Why did my young body have to affect so many people? This poem goes out to the girls that were told, "What were you wearing? It's your fault." To the girls that look in the mirror and pick apart every sexual thing about themselves. This goes to the girls that boys don't genuinely love, but to the girls that have a constant feeling of guilt because they're exposing too much. To the girls that now hide in their clothes like a hermit in its shell. To those girls, I'm sorry. We deserve to wear the tank tops that keep us cool, to wear the dresses that fit our curves, to wear those perfect pair of shorts. We deserve to be loved for our brains, not our bodies. And I seriously deserve to rest my precious mind from the over-sexualized body image that's been engraved into my brain since I was a little girl. Woo.
Amazing job. Memorize the poem. That's incredible. Judges, when you're ready, just so everyone knows, this is the Freshman Poetry Slam. Then we're having the All McDaniel Poetry Slam next Thursday at 6 p.m. in the library. And the winner of that slam will represent McDaniel at Verslandia citywide story slam on April 27th. So keep that in mind. Okay, ready, judges, we got an 8.8. 8.5, 8.7, 8.4, and 8.0. Applaud the poet. Next up, it was destined for Josie to go second.
Understand why I hide when I see that van pass for the third time. Bushes brushing my arms and scratching my chest. You don't understand why I hide my red lanyard while I walk away, heart beating faster and faster. You don't understand why I never pull that yellow wire on the bus until the very last second. You don't understand why I never take the same route home 2 days in a row. You don't understand why I never have both AirPods in at the same time, why I put my head down, hood up, one hand on my alarm, the other on my phone, placing it by my ear, talking to the non-existent hockey player that keeps that van at a safe distance.
Good job, Josie! Yo, everyone's doing an amazing job listening and just taking it in. Because when we hear these poets' stories, it's their truth. And it can impact and change our lives. So keep listening the way you are. Judges, what we got? Okay, a 7.9, a 7.5, a 7.8, an 8.1, and a 7.8. Applaud the poet. All right, before I read the next name, as you can see, I got this really cool McDaniel High School Poetry Slam 2023 sweatshirt. You can totally buy one of these for 10 bucks in the library and look, you know, like this. So that's available for you. Okay, next up, are we ready? The third poet of our poetry slam is Red.
461, 239, 565. The numbers I have just read out loud are not the figures for the Powerball, nor are they a classification system for every butterfly native to the Pacific Northwest, characters on the backs of football jerseys, or the last 9 digits of pi. No, these are the calorie amounts from a journal I found shoved between the dusty bookshelf next to my bed and the chipped blue walls of my room. A 6th grader's lost collection of repressed memories. I was 11. 896, 548, 35. Back then, the only Anna I knew of was not the abbreviation of anorexia as I come to know it as now. Instead, she was the gangly girl with cropped curls who one day lifted up her shirt during lunch to show how each of her ribs accentuated through her chest. "Look how skinny I am," she cried, and there was more joy in her eyes than I'd ever seen in my entire life. She grabbed my hand and harshly ran fingers over a thin layer of flesh and bone. Afterwards, when I was sure no one was looking, I caressed my chest in the same way just to find a much thicker skin under the starched navy blue of my shirt. 525, 1087, 23. Now I think back on those times when eating felt like shoveling shit down my throat, or why my period was 2 months late, or the disgust I felt to cry in the bathroom at 4 in the morning, because can one truly know despair if they have not searched up the amount of calories on the tip of a metal water bottle to guzzle Diet Pepsi because the carbonation makes me feel more full than 2 cups of finely chopped lettuce, to do crunches and curl-ups in 665 rounds of skipping rope to burn off the Caesar salad I ate for breakfast, to stick fingers down my throat at summer camp curled over a toilet bowl choking on my own spit because I would rather die than metabolize the 300 calories I had for lunch. 245, 329, 10. 2 months after the incident at lunch, I found out that Anna had been transferred into a nearby hospital, admitted for bulimia nervosa. She was sick because she was thin. I am a success because I was fat. And to this day, I can feel the satisfaction ripple through my gut, the high of victory, that the windowpane skin above my ribs was a millimeter thinner than hers, that I won in a competition children should never play, that I won because now I taste bile in my throat when I look at pasta and see not nutrients, but instead the 3 rounds of hit that it would take to burn off, that I won the day that I passed out after starving myself for 48 hours straight, that I won from counting calories and sticks of gum or from the saliva kissing the person I love, that I won because I am thinner than the people who infected me with this illness to begin with. 250, 132, 5. Now, as I draw to the conclusion of my work, this should be the end where I indulge you, judges, peers, teachers, in my recovery, the part where I get help. The part where I can look at a scale and just see numbers instead of my worth as a human being. The part where I can look my loved ones in their eyes and say, I'm healed. These are the last entries in my journal from April 4th to April 26th, 2023. 245, 389, 0.
Amazing job, Red. Well done, well done. if anyone's interested in doing like designs like this for future events, talk to Miss Sullivan in the library, because we want to get student design merch in the future. Good job, Ren. Okay, here's the scores. Y'all ready? We got a 9.3. A 9.3. A 9.3. An 8.3. And a 9.5. All right, next up, welcome to the stage, Nalani.
This poem is called Sunset. Did you see the sunset? For I did not, for all I saw was the engulfing darkness from the memories that fled, for there was no light to shine on the dark bit of thoughts that ever so often come through my mind, flooding it, becoming a pool, then suddenly the ocean. I begin to sink farther and farther, therefore it gets darker and darker, the light becoming non-existent, therefore I become blind, so I saw no sunset. Did you see the sunset? For I was too busy thinking of the times we would wander for hours, searching for the perfect spot to see the glistening sun fall down into the horizon, sinking and waiting till it's time to rise again. For I was thinking of the times we would laugh till the sun fell, until the moon rose. For I was far too busy remembering how I felt so long ago with her by my side, so I saw no sunset. Did you see the sunset? I can't say that I did. Instead, I lie in bed, waiting for the moment that she walks through the door to tell me it was all a prank, that she was really there. But instead, the door lay still, not opening like my eyes that stayed shut as I slept, so I saw no sunset. Did you see the sunset? I mean, I tried, but how could I watch without the person who made it the most special and who made it the most dearest? I draw the blinds to make me blind to the matter of the fact that she was never coming back. But as I sit and wonder, I think of how maybe tomorrow I'll see the sunset. Did you see the sunset? I did. I wandered like we used to. I found the spot in which the sun begins to fall so perfectly on the horizon with yellow, blue, and purple gradient that lies just above, where the water glistens like diamonds and pearls. For this time the sunset was different. I saw its beauty for what it was, for even though she was not there, I could feel like this was special, so yes, I can finally say today I saw the sunset.
Well done, well done. Yes, feeling it. Good job listening, soaking it in. That's what I love about poetry is the imagery it can create and paint pictures in our mind. So, did you see the sunset? Okay, judges are ready. We've got a 7.9, a 7.8, 7.7, 7.9, and 7.8. Applaud the poet. Next to the stage, please give a warm welcome to Aiden.
This poem is dedicated to growing up without a father in my life. It's called Why Weren't You There? Okay. Why did you have to be such a horrid person? Why did I have to be the creation of such a relation? Why weren't you there? You were supposed to be the man I could talk to, the man I looked up to, the man I bickered with in the kitchen on a Thursday because I didn't do the dishes, the man I awkwardly watch football with because it makes him happy, the man I cry to about an ex, the man I strive to one day be taller than, the man I try to impress, the man I could truly trust. the man that wouldn't hurt me. But you weren't. You were supposed to be the man that called me your daughter. You weren't. You were supposed to be the man I called dad. But you weren't, and you never will be.
Amen. Well done. Woo. Way to go. Came up here with no notes or anything, just off the top. Feeling it. Yes. All right. We've got some scores. Y'all ready? We've got an 8.7, a 7.4, a 9.2, an 8.7, and a 7.8. Well done. Applaud the poet. Next up, it was destined for a Rinzi to come and rock the mic.
First of all, I want to say sorry. My phone's gonna seem really mean. So like, sorry to everyone who like put their heart into their phone. Oh, did I get closer? My phone. Yeah. So sorry about this. I don't really mean too much of this. Wait a second. For my people who don't like poetry. For those who don't like writing boring lines made to express yourself. For my people who have nothing they want to express, no hidden desires, wants, wishes for the future or the past. For my people who have nothing to say in these rhythmical lines, no want for homonyms, homophones, homographs, or those damn metaphors. For my people who don't have anything different to say, no crazy statements, no new ideas. For my people who are annoyed with people acting like they said something profound, and all they've done is to repeat the same thing the last person said. For my people who never understood the format of poetry or how long stanzas are meant to be. For my people who are tired of those trees are green and red. Love will grow like a new leaf. The wind blows very hard. For my people who don't like poetry.
And with that, the Poetry Slam is now canceled. No, I'm joking. All right, that was dope. That was creative. That's why I say write a poem even if you don't like poetry. All right, we got a 7.8, an 8.2, a 7.9, an 8.3, and an 8.2. Applaud the poet. All right, next up to the stage, give a warm welcome for Haley!
I remember that night. I just might regret that night for the rest of my days. I remember those older boys dripping over themselves to win our praise. I remember that dreamlike camping night, like a dream that you can't quite place, but I will never forget the first time I saw his face. It was late, and as fate had put it, we had to meet. What started as a friendship bloomed into found family that was stripped at the family park. Whatever happened to that brotherly love? It was your fault, she said. You asked for it, he said. What were you wearing? They asked in such a condescending manner. Since when did a hoodie turn into a consenting degree? In that whole moment, my childhood ended, but not like when my father walked out on me. This was different. Their hand on my boob reminded me of the night where everything changed. I went from kind and obnoxious to quiet. I went from the person I always thought I would be to the person who changed. People wouldn't look at me and be like, oh my God, that's Eliza. People looked at me and were like, wow, that's Haley. Nothing ever in my life had changed me as much as that moment. Walking through these halls, scared that I might run into him. It changed in that moment. The moment where the fireworks went on and the soft snore of my little brother right next to me. It changed. It changed when we were in that forest and I watched him kissing her. My heart broke, not because I liked him, but because now that girl had to deal with the same trauma, the trauma that followed me like the Black Plague, always there, just below the surface. The trauma that will never leave me. But then I remembered to that night that I will always regret.
Give it up for Haley! Yo, I'm just blown away by the courage of all these poets coming up, letting it flow from the soul. So appreciation, good job. Okay, we got some scores, y'all. We got an 8.6. We got another 8.6. We got a 9.3. We got a 7.4, and we got an 8.5 upon the poet. So my friends, a reminder that even if you're whispering, this is an auditorium and your voice carries over and can be heard up here. So make sure, like when the poets are up here, you're just giving them your ears, your attention, everything, all right? So, other than that, who's ready to keep going with some poetry? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Next up, welcome the poet, Adrian!
This poem is called You'll Understand When You're Older. I was in 2nd grade when I asked you, Mom, what is hate? You told me it was the driving force of society. I wondered what that meant. How could something so vile shape a construct based off community? I was told I would understand when I was older. Now, I think I do. I was in 4th grade the day he left. Not a goodbye nor a good riddance as he was driven out of town. The same kids we had known since kindergarten had ruined his peace. Now he was gone and he had taken his love and friendship with him. I wondered why they felt it was so needed to push him away, just because of a machine attached to his hip that was keeping him alive. You told me I would understand when I was older. Now, I think I do. I was in 6th grade when it happened. A grief held in the air long after the initial wrenching of our world. There were fires burning down continents. There were kids taken out of their lives due to an illness people still blame on others. And that summer, the calm childhood I had came crumbling down. I was no longer your innocent child, Mom. I saw the world for what it was. It was a mixing pot of evil led by the ones we put in power, fed by hate. When it boiled over, results were deadly. Mass protests, shooting, and lies ended a once peaceful bliss. The world turned out to be much darker than I ever imagined. I was now getting older. I was getting towards the truth. I'm now in 9th grade. I have seen the evils of this world myself. The news is no longer about A happy story about the person who finally made it out. Now all we see is the latest tragedy. A world where hate is just more fuel to an already out of control fire. But I will push forward. I must push forward. I will do my job as the eldest. I will be a good example. Show that little boy how to grow up without a dad, since he does not care enough to see him. Dad, I will push forward. I will continue to count the blessings you and Mom gave me. I will do my chores, watch my sister. I will put everything on the line for you. Little sister, I will push forward. I will protect you so the evils of this world may never haunt you. I will fight by your side so you will never need to grow up as fast as I did. I will push forward so one day you may be proud to call me your oldest child, or your older brother, or your eldest cousin.
Keep giving it up for Adrian! Yes! Good job, good job, good job. Okay, remember next Thursday is the All McDaniel Poetry Slam. Even if you weren't in this Poetry Slam, you could still participate. But these poets who are competing today, the top 3, are guaranteed a spot in the Poetry Slam. But you could still get in if you're feeling the poetry vibe and you're like, I want to do the next one. There's still time. All right, let's go to the scores. Judges, we got a 8.0, an 8.6, an 8.8, 8.2, and 7.8 upon the poet. Next up to the stage, give a warm welcome to Leo.
I call this poem The Last Straw. What are the straws on the camel's back? Is it the people's weight or the desert's attack? Or being the backbone of a whole desert's distance? What will that straw be that breaks its back? But what are the straws on the desert's back? Is it the sun's heat, or the lack of water and the dehydration, or sustaining a whole ecosystem just by yourself? What will it be that snaps its back? What are the straws on the sun's back? Is it being the only thing keeping life alive? Or knowing that it will burn out with time? What will that straw be that cools its back? But what are the straws on the earth's back? Is it being burnt from the inside? Or being the only thing known to have life? Or satellites watching your every move? What will that straw be that splits its back? But what are the straws on the ocean's back? Is it the moon controlling you from up above? Or having a whole ecosystem just under your feet? Or the remnants burnt just for you to grow bigger? What are the straws that will evaporate the ocean's back? But what are the straws on the land's back? Is it the weight of the world, or tossing and turning the night just to kill hundreds? What are the straws that will fracture its back? But what are the straws on humanity's back? Is it the war, the murder, the kidnapping of children, the jets, the bombs, the terrorist attacks? All one kind, yet we attack. All one kind, yet we argue over race. Humanity's left like an ember in the cold. The straws are falling, a downpour. But what is the straws on your back? What will the last straw be that breaks your back?
Give it up for Leo! Yes! Okay. Feeling it. Feeling the vibe. Raise your hand if you've been enjoying the poetry so far. a warm welcome to Remy.
Okay. All right, okay. I wrote this poem in memory of my dad, who died of colorectal cancer in August. He had fought it for 9 years, and it's actually 7 minutes long, but I had to shorten it for the sake of people's time. Sometimes the one you love and trust the most, the one you thought would never leave you, is the first to go. Gone, forever. Disappears from your sight. Vanishes like a memory that you just can't seem to hold on to. And then it's gone. But they don't disappear into the darkness of the night. They slowly get up, spread their wings, and slowly take off into flight. You notice they're trying to break free, flapping their wings. The wings hitting the tree branches, making a dull thumping sound echo throughout the tree. Eventually, you realize the bird will soon fly away. Its wings flapping through the blue sky and its soft, wispy clouds. You see it, flying in the distance, your mind pounding with confusion of where your bird is going. It eventually disappears over a tall, gray mountain. There's no chance to follow this beautiful bird. The mountain is too far away. You can't go and find your bird. Your bird is gone, and your bird can't be replaced. No other bird could ever be the same. No other bird's wings will ever flap like his in the soft, light air. No other bird's soft and caring call fills the room with love and warmth like his. His call reaching out far, drawing people into his love. This bird, people will notice, is gone, like when a tree gets cut down. Everyone can see. It changed the space, makes it smaller, different, empty. But some people knew this bird even more. They knew where he would reside, where he loved to perch and watch the people go by. With this bird, he always knew how to fly. But that one time, that last time, you knew he wasn't coming back. This time, he struggled, like he didn't want to take off into the beautiful sunset-filled sky. You wish you could have stopped him, but you couldn't. Your feet felt planted into the ground, as though the earth was holding you back, grabbing your soul and holding it down. When he usually left his tree, he would not hesitate. He would spread his wings and start moving. He was happy and ready to go out into the world. He had his world. His world was vast, yet at the same time, a quaint little space, filled with flowers and trees and plants, with always a welcoming, calming smell and feeling. The sounds and smells were like no other. Walking in his world always felt nice. Your feet touching the cold, damp, bare ground, keeping you awake, keeping you from leaving.
Keep the applause going for Remy. As the judges get their scores together, we have this all-city poetry slam called Verselandia, and we usually have tickets to take a group of students. So if you're interested in that, make sure to talk to your English teacher or talk to Miss Sullivan about that so you can go. Okay, here we go. We got a 7.9, a 7.8, a 9.0, an 8.7, and an 8.5 upon the poet. Please welcome to the stage, Nina!
Hi. My poem is called I Believe for You. I believe you when you tell me that you'd be here to listen to me. I believe you when you tell me that you'd be here to help me. I believe you when you tell me that you'd never leave me. For you, I believe when you hold me, it's like the last time you could. For you, I believe when you tell me I'll always come first. For you, I believe when you tell me how much you love me without actually saying it. My love, my heart, my soulmate, and my everything. I believe that loving you isn't so hard, but the easiest thing I've ever done. It is impossible to not. I don't believe that I could love someone if it wasn't you. I don't believe that I could hold someone if it wasn't you. I could only believe that if there's nothing I wouldn't go through again, if it meant I could always find you in the end. I wish you could believe that I love everything about you, your smile, your eyes, your laugh, and your loving personality. I wish you could believe that I find you so mesmerizing. For you, I would give you my own eyes to let you see how I see you. For you, I would give you my own heart to let you feel how fast it beats when I'm around you. For you, I would give you my everything to let you know how much I love you. I believe that you showed me what it's like to be loved. I believe that you taught me how to love. I believe that you are different, and for you, I believe we will work out. Maybe it's the way you make me believe that I don't need makeup when I'm with you, or the way you make me believe that I don't need to lose weight to feel prettier, or the way you make me believe that I deserve to be loved, or even the way you make me feel loved when I think I deserve not to be. For you, I believe that there will never be enough words to explain how deeply I am in love with you.
Give it up, give it up! Yes! So it takes a lot to make a poetry slam happen. So give it up for all our people doing like the scores, Miss Arzi, Miss Cannot keeping time, Alex. Wait, what's your name? Liam, my bad. Give it up for Liam. And if you want to be involved in the Poetry Slam on Thursday, we're looking for some volunteers. So if you want to be involved behind the scenes, come talk to Miss Sullivan and be a part of the fun. Okay, here we go. We got an 8.5. We got an 8.2. We got a 7.8. We got a 7.8. And a 7.8. We're getting a little more comfortable booing as the time goes on. I like it. Okay, next up to the stage, please give a warm welcome to Daphne.
I've been more self-conscious now than ever. Paranoia that my makeup, hair, and outfit aren't sitting right. Periodic bathroom mirror checks, phone camera, Chromebook camera, glimpses while passing a window. Peacekeeping self-confidence with emotions varying from thinking I look plain busted to the personification of perfection. Always like a parasite taking space in my brain, programming to believe I'm not enough, the possession of beauty standards. My mom was beautiful. She was skinny, tall, long black hair, in pageants, hired in a few music videos, and scouted for more. She was a cheerleader, a dance workout instructor, and all the boys wanted her. She fit the conventional beauty standard naturally, sort of. I know for a fact she said, I know how to lose lots of weight and I've done it many times. I'd see her complain about her body directly in front of us. Hours of priming and prepping before date nights, contacts, curls, contour, and cosmetics. Compare me and my sister's features and compare them to herself. I wish I had your eyebrows and now all I wanted was boobs as a teen. You are so lucky. Comments made on anyone on TV saying things like, her nose does not match her face constantly. Caught on to the need I need to reach for her validation. Conversation only really striking it was about some boy or about my appearance. Fashion show shopping, doing each other's makeup, competition with other women curated from childhood subtly. Sisterhood meant how can we improve each other to be better looking? How can we make each other jealous? Never enough because my beautiful mother never thought that she was enough. How do you erase this homegrown and media-influenced self-esteem from yourself when society has made little girls and women its perfect habitat? No one is safe, everyone is infected, and there's no hospital for humanity's pretty handbook.
Yes, applaud the poet, Daphne, well done. Give it up for Mr. Stoll, AKA DJ Only Child. Raise your hand if you went to any of the dances
mind is still developing. My mind is a greenhouse, a vessel for growth. You see plants twiddling and twisting, and here I'm exactly where I want to be. I'm charismatic and extra sweet. I'm mature enough, I'm approachable and worthy, and here at the window shines the best of me in full view. Sun shines through, the moon steers a peak, and here's somebody who loves me, and there's no such thing as a tear-stained cheek. My mind is a greenhouse. Sure, a bit dehydrated sometimes, and my imagination's kind of funny. So here, the tree grows on lines. Everything will still grow, and nothing makes sense. Here, pain gets planted with dirt, secrets, and water. Sure, the wind comes in sometimes, as if traces of you disappear, as if my memory gets lost of you. It'd be so much easier if you were just insincere. My mind is a greenhouse. Sure, a bit blue sometimes. Some of the plants accidentally died. I got kind of distracted thinking about you. No, wait, sorry.
You're good. Keep going.
My mind is a greenhouse, fluttering with beautiful butterflies, pink roses, like no time has passed by. Sooner or later, thorns get sharper, and bees start to sting as the season spring hits, but it's just flashbacks of you hitting harder every time. My mind is a green house. Sure, a bit blue sometimes. Some of the plants accidentally died. I got kind of distracted thinking about you. You were kind and smart, just a tad bit competitive as we both played Mario Kart. My mind is a greenhouse. She's trying her best, but now there's locks on her doors, and not just anybody can be a guest.
Give it up for Kathy! Ooh, I like this one. Poetry is a language of imagination. Poetry is a form of positive creation. All right, judges. We got a 9.2. We got an 8.8. We got an 8.8. We got a 9.4. And a 9.0. Applaud the poet. Now, is this the last one or do we maybe have questions? I'll just say the next one. All right, next poet, welcome to the stage, Rhea.
My poem's called I Love Music. I love music. I love the quiet background tunes. I love the thundering drums and praise that you can feel in your chest. I love the cringy pop that melts away your sadness, feeling the tears push against your eyes when that song comes on. Funny how songs or sounds can convey a feeling. The low strum of a guitar is a soft patter of water droplets on pebbles in your favorite stream. The electric computer beat is dancing and singing around a campfire, forgetting that anyone else in the world exists. The music is my heartbeat. The music is the tempo of my steps. It's the soundtrack of my life. I can't say what is running through my head, but my song can feed your empathy. My parents always reminded me of the first time that I felt music. The melody surfaced my tears. The words touched my soul before I could comprehend what they meant. I was a toddler in the car seat of a Toyota, but I was a big, beautiful, bright star, smiling through the galaxy. The hair on my arm raises to praise the beautiful music. The tingles down my neck tell me I'm feeling, I'm not just listening. It sounds silly to say, sound waves rumbling under your skin. To say music goes deeper than your eardrums is to say it is a physical thing. And maybe some artists don't make music to feel, just to listen to. But I thank the ones that make music to cry to. The ones that you press shuffle and stare at your ceiling to. The ones that hug you with their rhythms and their beat drops and their chords and their harmonies. Living is synonymous with music. I love music.
That's so gay. The way you talk is gay, the way you act is gay, the things you're saying are gay, you are so gay, and that is an insult to you. An attack on your ivory castle of straightness. How dare you be accused of being anything other than the norm? You guard your sexuality as if it's under war, and being called gay is war to you. The simple idea of someone loving the same gender is so baffling to you that it's comedy. My identity has suddenly turned into a joke. An aspect of myself that's said to be sinful, an aspect of myself that's called unnatural, an aspect of myself that's still illegal in 67 countries is funny to you. The accusation that you could be queer is your joke that is not actually yours to make. And I may not be the most qualified to talk about this, but at least I'm calling you out. Maybe you'll listen if it's said by someone in your class so that you can't detach yourself from it. Maybe you'll pay attention if it's being yelled in your face. You are a part of the problem. And you may just want me to shut up and be quiet, but I am not a quiet person. I have been made quiet by your remarks, made quiet by your comments, made quiet by your jokes. I am the angry, snowflake, sensitive gay kid in the back of the class jumping at the chance to debate anyone about issues that you think don't exist. And if you do think they exist, then they're too small to care about. I know I can't get rid of homophobia on my own in one poem, but at least I'm trying to show the people around me that simply being called gay is not funny. I am not laughing at you. I am not laughing with you. I am not laughing, period. No, I don't feel safe here. I am not taken seriously by my peers. You are laughing as LGBTQ+ rights are actively being taken away. We are taking one step forward and 3 steps back, and you still say it's getting better. Our hurt is being masked by pride parades that were once protests. Companies changing the color of their logo during June to prove that they're definitely not homophobic. Queer history is being taught as if our issues have long since passed, so that you can believe that our war is over and you can feel better about making your gay jokes. We should not be the subject of your ridicule. We should not be afraid to speak in our classrooms. We are not your punchline. I am not your punchline. So guard your palace of sexuality. Protect it with your life as our lives are being taken away. All so that you can feel better about making your gay jokes. All so that you can keep saying, that's so gay.
Keep those applause going! My goodness. Okay, let's get some scores from the judges. We got a 9.4. We got a 9.2. A 9.9. A 9.4. And a 9.7. Applaud. Next to the stage, please give a warm welcome to Chloe.
Before I start, I just want to say thank you. No, seriously, thank you. Thank you for judging me even though I didn't do shit to you. Other than just existing in your little world where you're the main character, and because of what I've gone through and you being part of my life, I have no other words than saying thank you. Thank you for reminding me each day how annoying it is that I talk too much, even though I barely fucking speak to you. How my sense of fashion is completely inferior and disgusting it is compared to you. How I cannot afford the same Nike Jordans or Converse shoes. How I cannot pull bitches just like you. How I cannot step out of your way in between you and your goals. And even though I still step out the fucking way for you, you would never respond with a thank you. And so you leave me standing here for what? What was all that effort for? Call me mentally deranged, but all I just wanted do was just to be friends with you. All the times we spent together then, do you really want to forget them? Was this all really for nothing? For this? For me to be on stage saying this to you? I don't know if you see me. I don't care if you do. But hey, that's okay. It's all right? Because all I want to say is thank you. Thank you for telling me all your issues and Thank you for telling me all your issues and to expect for an endearing response from a wise word or your fellow friend, cousin, or classmate who didn't even get to finish a single sentence without the need to listen in on you. And then to be told that you didn't feel like I didn't care, and then make me feel even more of a shit person. When in reality, I do care. Why would I respond to everything that you say? Hearts and how are you in our messages, I swear. But that's okay. I've never been in your shoes, so I want to say thank you for helping me realize my mistakes. I should have known how to deal with the same issues that you have, right? We may not be the same age or have the same life, but I'll know everything because in your eyes, I know everything. So thank you for believing me when I know about nothing. And thank you for degrading me when I told you I couldn't afford certain things. And thank you for helping me dig my grave even deeper than it is. And thank you for listening to me after all those many days that you have not been listening to me. And finally, I would like to say this. Thank you for letting me say this to you. Fuck you.
Give it up for the poet! I like that ending. No, okay. We've got an 8.7, a 7.6, a 7.9, an 8.4, and an 8.2. Give it up, applaud the poet. Okay, we got one more poet, and then we're gonna add up the scores, and then after that, we're gonna announce the top 3 will get prizes. But even if you didn't get to go today, please consider coming to the Poetry Slam Thursday in the library. It's gonna be dope. Last but not least, give it up for Harley!
First off, I'd like to say this poem is dedicated to and written about missing and murdered Indigenous women. It's something that's really been affecting a lot of people, both in the US, Canada, and even Mexico, though it's not talked more about in Mexico and Latin America in general. So this is about that and dedicated to them. Blood. That's the color of the handprint on my face. That's the color their eyes probably were as they screamed out for their mothers, Mama! But you wouldn't know, because you won't look for them. You won't look for them because your kind took them. Blood. That's the color of their dresses flowing in the wind. That's the color of the tongue they used to speak sweet words before you silenced them. Shush. That's what you do to us now. Us with our red flowing dresses and our stolen sisters. Are we next? Blood. That's the color of the sun as it sets. The sun that they would watch every day. That color could have been their favorite. Or was it green like grass? Or blue like the water that gives us life? Brown like their mother's eyes that now cry for them? She cries while looking for them, but you won't help. Her cries are lost in the 5,712 cries of other mothers. Blood. It's not just a color. It's what they bled and will continue to bleed if you don't do something.
Give it up for Harley! Yes. Let's give it up for all the poets who got up here. got another announcement. Okay. We got an 8.8, an 8.4, a 9.4, an 8.8, and an 8.4 of Plot the Poet. So as the math geniuses add up the scores, I'm gonna ask all the poets who performed to come to the stage and get a group photo. So as they come up, give it up for them, give it up, give it up. Yes. Okay, group photo. All right, y'all, don't leave yet. We got to announce the winners. Hold up, hold up. All right. So, first of all, when I announce your name, just go ahead and come to the stage, and Miss Sullivan will hook you up with your prize. In third place, can I get a drum roll? We got Harley. Second place, Kathy. And in first place, we've got Arne. Give it up for all the poets. Give it up for yourself. Give it up for poetry. Keep writing, expressing. Come Thursday night, 6 p.m. Library will have the main McDaniel Poetry Slam.